Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 30th of May 2026. UK heat records in May show impending doom can't be held at bay. Starmer must wish Blair had stayed away, as he has much to convey in his essay on Labour's decay. The national survey on social media finds most people say for under 16s it's not okay. Pellicott and Milburn have messages to relay about things in the UK causing dismay. Russian war games still in play as a drone goes astray. Elon's unintentional pyrotechnic display. Moral to finally pay. On Monday and Tuesday across Great Britain, the temperature record books for May were rewritten. The national all-time high was broken twice in Kew, 2.3 degrees above the last peak in World War II. And with each national record across Europe that fell, climate scientists had messages of doom to tell, ringing the death knell for a looming burning hell, which the deniers, of course, are compelled to dispel. And this heatwave brought immediate tragedy. At least 10 died in rivers, lakes and the sea. For many years, the benefits of an open water swim have been advocated to provide vigour and vim, but jumping out of the sun into a cold lake can cause a cold water shock that the body can't take. Recalling the winter weather across the UK when at the start of the year it rained every day with biblical volumes of water across our nation, the overflowing reservoirs provided consolation. So on Friday there was some consternation in the southeast of the nation with a situation of people getting their source of hydration by queuing up at bottled water stations. Water shortages were the price Kent residents paid for hitting 35 degrees centigrade. Once upon a time, MSP Peter Murrell was one half of Scotland's big power couple. But that double act is now a pile of rubble, and Mr. Murrell is in a pile of trouble. He's pleaded guilty, so there is no quarrel. The actions of the former SNP boss were immoral. It seems that his brief as the party's chief opened up the chance to be an insatiable thief. His embezzlement reached levels beyond belief until his collar was felt and he came to grief. Is social media for the under 16s, friend or foe? Some know what they think, many think that they know. But overall a consensus is beginning to grow that we can't carry on with the current status quo. For 12 weeks the government has run a consultation with an ongoing national conversation. On Tuesday, just at the last knockings of that process, the medical profession threw in its prognosis. It wasn't the shock horror news of the century, but the senior doctor's message was incendiary. They feel the use of social media, no joking, can be as harmful for children as smoking. Certainly violent content is also a big concern for any brain too undeveloped to discern. Not unconnected this week, a youth atrocity had the nation's discussed with ferocity. Outrage over a rape case went off the scale when 3 teenage rapists of 2 girls were spared jail. Giselle Pellicott, the campaigner and victim of rape, spoke of the judge's call that had the country agape. On Tuesday, the 73-year-old gently railed that the 3 monsters had been effectively bailed. By allowing their rights as children to prevail, the judge has caused Britain's justice to fail. Just for those who thought Tony Blair was old news, On Tuesday he released a document of his views, a critique 5,700 words long, largely discussing where this government's gone wrong. The former PM and not quite forgotten man reckoned Starmer and his party are lacking a plan. He'd advised steering right and not veering left. Starmer tried that and has few backbenchers left. Whether he wanted to stir minds or just stir the pot, he got a lot of Labour knickers in a knot. In Britain this week there was a lot of head scratching, soul searching, finger pointing and blame attaching. 7% of our 16 to 24s have never participated in our workforce. 1 million young people now considered neat, and they aren't all bums, bludgers and benefit cheats. Many aren't interested in benefit claiming. They're youngsters who are straining, uncomplaining, trying to get a foothold in anything pertaining to employment or education or training. Former Labour Minister Alan Milburn's report this week showed that the future looks even more bleak. Has the TikTok world killed youth resilience, where grifting, not grafting, seems the way to make millions? Or has the government made it too expensive for bosses to take a punt on the untested? And then, though many can try, no one can deny there's the increasing spectre of the dreaded AI. On Friday it was the turn of Romania to feel the brunt of Putin's megalomania. High-rise flats were hit by a shithead Shahed. The drone caused injuries, but nobody's dead. After a period of silence, Moscow's response demonstrated dysfunction with the Kremlin comms. While former President Medvedev threatened more of the same, the official Kremlin line was to blame Ukraine. A false flag stunt, the claim of the gangster regime as they followed a typical Russian playbook theme. For Elon Musk, it must have been discouraging to see the evaporation of his blue origin. A New Glenn rocket test flight went wrong a tad when the world's richest man's plan that he had to carry out his space wet dream like a young lad became a Florida fireball on the launch pad. Musk may have been mad, but not everyone's sad.